All right, here's a nice trig equation that we need to solve. Uh, so the instructions at the top are solve. So solve cosecant squared x minus 4 equals 0. First thing that gives me trouble is that it's a cosecant ratio. But so I'll probably want to change that to sine squared in a second here. But let's just maybe isolate the ratio. So move the 4 over. So it'd be cosecant squared x equals 4. And then if cosecant squared x, or not the squared part, but if cosecant is the same as 1 over sine, then what I can do is just flip this side over and call it sine squared x. If I flip this over to get the reciprocal, I have to find the reciprocal of that too. So that's a nice thing to be able to do. Find the reciprocal of this side, find the reciprocal of that side. So it's what I do to one side, I do to the other side. Now I have sine squared x equals a quarter. I want just sine x, so I'll square root both sides. So sine squared x equals a quarter. I'm going to take the left side, square root it, this side, and square root it. So that'll leave me on the left side with just a sine x. And on the right hand side, this will be a plus or a minus square root of a quarter. I should have a plus and minus right there too. Okay, so let's simplify this a little bit. If I rewrite that, I could write it as plus or minus square root of 1 over square root of 4. Or I could write it, the square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 4 is 2. And so I could write it as plus or minus 1/2. So I need to find the angle where the ratio of that angle is 1/2. Now if I look at my chart, remember the chart, sine, cos, tan, hopefully you remember that chart, 30, 45, 60, etc. Sine of 30 is one of the ones we memorized, is a half, and that's what I have here. So like all trig equations, the answer to this here, so if I have sine x is equal to a plus or minus 1/2, the answer to this equation is x equals 30 degrees. I could write it in degrees, I could write it in radians too, doesn't matter. But this number here is a reference angle, and that's critical. You need to know that that's a reference angle. So that reference angle on the quadrant could happen in 4 places. One there, one there, one there, and one there. So this first angle in the first quadrant will be 30 degrees. So x will be equal to 30. The angle over here, since this angle here is 30, would be 180 minus 30, or 150 degrees. 150 degrees. The next angle, this one down here, since this is 30 degrees there, that whole angle would be 180 plus 30, or 210 degrees. And the last angle, this one down here, would be all the way over to there. This angle here is 30 degrees, so the big green one would be whatever 360 minus 30 is, or 330 degrees. So 30 degrees is my reference angle, happens 4 spots on the quadrant, and then I identify which one it is. Now at this point I need to check to see if I can eliminate any of these. So I check back to this spot right here, just before I figured out the angle. Okay, so just before I figured x is 30 degrees. And here it says the sine ratio is a positive or a negative angle. So sine is positive up here. Remember your cast rule, C-A-S-T. Sine's positive here. They're all positive there. So sine's positive up top, but negative works too. So on the bottom where sine is negative, those angles work as well. So all 4 of these angles would be your answer to that question. Okay, hopefully that helps you out with just a basic trig equation one. Try some more.